and held the responsibility of holding the faith together and held the responsibility of being truthful. And that's why, my dear beloved brothers and sisters, let me finish with this. Among the most important things in Islam is being good in the family. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, "Khayrukum khayrukum li ahli wa ana khayrukum li ahli." The best of you are those who are best to their families, and I'm the best of you to my families. I don't want when someone comes and tells me, hey, I want to be nice to you, and if they're not nice to their father, I don't think they're nice to me. They're never going to be nice to me if they're not nice to their father. If they're not nice to their mother, they're not going to be nice to me. Go fix your relationship with your mother and father, then come and be nice to me. That's what Islam tells you. That's why Hadith al-Imam Muslim, when the Prophet ﷺ was asked, right? Ya Rasulullah, ayyul a'mali ahabbu ila Allah? Which of the deeds are most beloved to Allah? Hadith al-Sahih. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as-salatu ala waqtiha, praying on time. I don't need to remind you every time, praying on time. You don't pray Asr and Maghrib time. Pray on time. What's the second thing, Ya Rasulullah, the most beloved to Allah? Birrul walidain, being good to your parents. Right? Sorry about the cultural norms nowadays, or the cultural notions nowadays. Being good to parents. Yeah. It doesn't matter who they are. I'm not saying your parents are perfect. They're not. None of your parents are perfect. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. They're not prophets. Being good to them. Why? Well, you're not perfect either. You've got a long way to learn, son. Be good to them. That is the most beloved to Allah after praying, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is saying. Hadith Muslim and Abdullah bin Amr, another hadith, a man comes to Sayyidina Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Look at this hadith. He says, Ya Rasulullah, ubayu'uka ala al-jihadi wal-hijra, abtaghi wajh Allah. I want to give you bay'ah to do jihad and hijrah with you. Look at that. He wants to do hijrah, migration with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and jihad. He says, I seek wajh Allah. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked him, Sahih Muslim hadith. He says, Alaka walidan, you have parents? He says, yes. He says, atabtaghi wajh Allah, you really want to seek Allah's pleasure? He says, yes. قال فأحسن صحبتهما, go treat them well. Go treat them well. Which means what? That gives you the reward of hijrah with me and jihad with me. And you all know this. Why are we saying this about Ismail? You see what Ismail alayhi salatu did? He followed all these things the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said. And Hadith al-Bukhari Muslim, you all know, and I'll finish with this very quick. You know, remember the three young people whom the stone, they were walking they went to a cave and there was a storm came and the rock came down and it closed the cave? And they tried to push this rock off and they couldn't, and they knew it was imminent death. So they tried, we cannot force it out, so they tried to do dua, and they said to each other, these three young men, they said, the only way if we ask Allah to remove this rock by something selfless we did, only for His sake. So they scoured their whole life record to find one selfless act they did for Allah's sake. And everyone came up with only one. One of them, he said this to Allah. Hadith al-Bukhari, look it up. He says, Ya Allah, you knew that I used to always, before I drink, yani at night, after he works, in the old days they ate maybe one meal. Before I drink, I give the milk of the goat to my parents, my old parents. Then I drink. He says, and one day, Ya Allah, you knew I got tied, busy doing something. And I arrived home late after my parents had gone to sleep. And then I sat in front of them with the mug filled with milk, waiting for them to wake up until Fajr time arrived. And then I gave them the milk. And if you knew, Ya Allah, that I did this only for your sake, then remove this rock from the door of the mountain. And Allah Azza wa Jalla removed it. These things that Sayyidina Ismail did helped him in the dunya, put barakah in his life, in his family, gave him success, in the dunya, in the akhirah, and glorified his mention. If you want to follow the sunnah of Ismail, then this is the time where parents remember their children and children remember their parents. If your parents have passed away, it doesn't mean you cannot still do good to them. Make dua for them, give sadaqah on their behalf, and this is how things go. This is the only way that the tradition of the prophets can remain alive. If you listen to some of these things that the culture is dispensing at people, it will sever the connection with the iman and the people of Allah, and it will connect people to shayateen. It will not necessarily connect them to Allah Azza wa Jal. Revive these things, because this is important. And today we are actually celebrating Ismail alayhi salatu wassalam, and we're celebrating these values. أقول قولي هذا